Every Tuesday, you can get yourself a copy of our newspaper, iDiskiTV, for absolutely free. Every shop right in the Gauteng province, you just go there, get yourself the paper. And on Fridays, the paper will be available across the nation on our website, iDiskiTimes.co.za. iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. So many signings by a lot of teams. I was very surprised to see Untsako Makubela not being signed by Orlando Pirates. He really did well on loan at Golden Arrows, but he's been released. Collins Makhaha has been released as well. Chiefs signing Pule, Modi, and so on and so forth. So many other players as well being signed. Cape Town Spurs, this or that, and even Nabo Sikukune, the signing, and then they're releasing players as well at the same time. There was a swap move, which I didn't understand, which was between Sikukune and Amazulu. I think Urali Bwalia joining Sikukune, and then Letswalo joining Amazulu. Thank you. So I couldn't understand that, but of course it is business after all. I don't rate Rally Palio. I've seen him in maybe 5 or 7 matches. I don't rate that midfielder. You don't know whether he's an attacking midfielder or a midfielder. Nothing much has happened really since he joined Amazulu. But anyways, in this video I want to talk about Junior Mendieta. We speculated about it, and we actually did say that if Mamelodi Sundowns are linked with a player, it's not a player that they just linked with on social media. They go for them. There's a South American revolution that's happening at Mamelodi Sundowns. They sign players from Argentina, players from Brazil, Chile, and all of that. We've seen it in the last, I think even when you were playing there, there were South Americans there, Jose Torrealba, Acuna, and all of those players. I remember the name Principiano. I don't know even if you've played for Sundowns, but there was even a player called Principiano, if I'm not mistaken. They finally got their man, Junior Mendieta. We can't talk about the Brazilian because we don't really know him, but we know Junior Mendieta and we speculated about him. So just very quickly with that signing, Mendieta with Mamelodi Sundowns, what does that mean for them? There's the Carling Black Label Cup, which is replacing a Telkom Knockout. There's the Nedbank Cup, there's the MTN 8, and then there's a league, and then there's the CAF Champions League, and then there's CAF Super League as well. They are signing players galore. Does it mean they're looking to win everything?
Mr. Keo, I'm worried. Yeah, I'm very worried, Mr. Keo. When you look at the team Sundowns last season, they bought quality players in their mal. Yeah. They've won 1 trophy.
Yeah, there was a player that they bought for 50 million.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm worried, Mr. Keo, because when you buy players, it means they must be so special in such a way that it means you have to take everything. I was ngithi bathengile abo Tebogo, Williams, abo Sipo. Those are quality players. They've only won the league. But winning league pen. The rest nothing. They've lost. They've won 1 league. So now we're going to another season. We bought 2 players, quality players, a lot of money again. So we're watching. But I'm worried when you do this, you need to look at what's happening around you, because for me now, before I will do that, I'll look at last season, where did I fail, how did I fail, and then fix it. Because for me, it's announced they don't need it to reinforce with any player.
Maybe 1 or 2 players, but they are such a strong, because I think last season, so if you think about it, semi-final CAF Champions League, semi-final MTN 8, I can't remember whether it was quarter-final of Nedbank Cup, so it wasn't a horrible season. In fact, I think they had a very good season. I thought they were the best team in Africa for a reason. So I agree with you, Guti. If you are the best football playing team in Africa, then you don't really need to change much, because that change could come with instability. It could take time as well. But Junior Mendieta is a good fit for Mamelodi Sundowns. I know that you would have loved for Pirates to be in that conversation at the time, and Chiefs at the time, but is he a good fit for Sundowns?
Mr. Geo, I don't know, because I think for me he's going to be a swap Sereno. Other than that, I don't think he's for Sundowns have good quality, man. I mean, they allow Domingos to go. There's Kapinga, they still didn't get game time. Abu Mabuya, also players that they should be there, that don't been given a chance. Usirino Wayena and myself has not been given a chance to Gutina, and then now you're adding Mendieta. Now adding a foreign player again in that mix, where you still have Allende that didn't play the semi-final because of the red card. You know, you still have Abu Mkulisi, Abu Bakar, you still have him, Lapayana, Mayema is all still. I don't know how is it gonna work for Rulani, but I think he's just putting pressure for himself if you get this quality of players, because you still have quality that is not yet playing. Remember, Abu Bakar.
I think just keep in mind. So I get what you're saying, and I think the more you sign, the more you open the checkbook, the more pressure it puts on you to be successful. Because I think if, for example, any mistake could happen and they don't win the league, and they don't win the Champions League, then gone. Like, I think there's going to be so much pressure from Sundowns fans. I think maybe one eye is looking at the number of competitions: Super League, Champions League, Carling Cup, Nedbank Cup, MTN 8, the DStv Premiership. So there's 6 competitions. I think it's unprecedented. We've never really seen 6 competitions that people could play for. So I think maybe that's one eye on that. But I think there will be unhappy people there. There will be unhappy players there, because the more players you sign, the more opportunity you open yourself up to unhappy players. Players who are competent, who are very good. Even Abo Mendieta, he's never had to experience a bench with Stellenbosch because he was one of the best players. What if he experiences a bench? In the same way that Uralani, when he started experiencing a bench, although he got his league title, which is something in his life he thought he wanted to do, but when he started not playing, he remembered, oh shit, at Cape Town City, I was the star player. I never went more than 2 weeks without playing, or more than 1 week without playing as well. So it's a huge pressure with all of those players, and some of them are not going to be happy.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm worried. 2 is you cannot sign an overseas player, then comes in and sit a pension. Never. You know, so all of that dynamic is going to create an unhealthy environment in that team, because no one wants to go to a team. I mean, I was bought to come and play. So are you saying to me, they must come and watch you guys playing? No ways. You know, so I don't know how is he going to do it, but I'm worried when I'm thinking about last season we win a league, and then nothing else. And then you come and you still have players that they didn't play last season. You still have players that Umabu, I think we only saw maybe for 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, it was,
You get my point? He was injured. Yes. About Teriku, they come there and there. You still have players that have not been in the field, like Umudadala 90 minutes. I won. It's gonna be until Abomishishi, yes, Abomayema, those guys. Yeah. But my worry is Mr. Keo. I hope he will find a way or a plan to manage that team, because if he's not going to manage that team will break.
Yeah. I remember this week I was watching you play. They were playing these old school matches on SuperSport, and I saw you guys were playing in SuperSport United, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Masterpiece Moripe, and I think you were losing already 3-0 SuperSport, and you came in and they were playing you on the left, wide forward, and then you crossed the ball. And I think someone scored. I can't remember who scored. Mbesuma scored. Yeah, Mbesuma scored in that. And I kept on thinking, shit, so he's not a wide forward. And you told me that how that happened. Because there's just so many of you, too many talented players. Just give us, maybe my last question to you, give us an idea of what happens gule environment where it's a galaxy of stars. Everyone is a star. And then when people start not playing, I remember when I was young, I used to hear that at Madrid, because they have so many star players, the ones that are not playing, they gym alone on the side, and then it creates a division as well, because you have too many good players.
Mr. K, I was unusual team. I will say I wish him all the best, but it's going to happen. And I remember when I was also there, where everyone is there. I mean, all of us were good players. So the coach needs to find a position. He used to say to me, "No, go wide." Lapanaga left. When we win the ball, when we've got the ball, you'll find a way of playing. So sometimes I'll cut inside, sometimes I'll stay wide, try to cross the ball, of which, playing good winger, that's not my strength. But now, because of everyone needs to play, then you'll be put in that position. Sometimes I won't play because of Sbanning, and obvious coaches, they will always prefer certain players over you. So you and what is happening now, Leo Rulanayenza, of getting these players with the team Lea Benai? Because for me, the team Lea, it didn't need to add any player for personally. It just needed them just give them that confidence again. Right. Give them that picture to say, you can do it. You've got strength, you've got skill, you've got mentality, good mentality. You've got goals, you are a very good team. You can still do it. It's just that now, where matters most, one thing that we needed that we didn't put on that day was an experience, of which yes, he pen. But other than that, we are a good team. So I just wish him all the best with all the quality players. But trust me, if you can't manage that team will break.
But the experience I think shop Tso Vilakazi lento ethethayo wayebona ku Sundowns naye wayesistar bethengwa bebaninzi Mamelodi Sundowns begcwala lapha kuthiwa dlalani madoda nawubona baniphuma kanjani so utsho kumfoka Vilakazi ba ubona la nto wayekade ibona pha nje emba kutyikitya abadlali abaninzi sayibona ke kambe kwexesha bangaba izamohlula kwisini umqeqeshi weMamelodi Sundowns londo leyo uJuna Mendieta ke ngumdlali okudidi eliphezulu obedlala ke ku Stellenbosch khona nomnye ke umkileyo ku Stellenbosch Ibrahim Jabbar uhambile ke waya eIsrael midfield ebine dreadlocks ebina 20 years old ese Nigeria basakhumbula kahle ke so it's been a good window for Stellenbosch. Hoping that they don't make the same mistake that they did last year, which they released 7-8 players, and then they were in the relegation zone by December. Then they had to call Abo Reynas from Supersport in December, Andre de Jong. They had to sign a lot of older players just to cover the gap that was left by experienced players. Hopefully the money that they've made in this transfer window already, somewhere between 20, 30, 40 million, who knows, hopefully they recover, use that money, and maybe get one or two experienced players again. iDiskiTV, Times, World Sports Betting.